Bam! What's up, Dix? It's a Blue Drake. And today, we're going to do another Total Rant. I know we've been doing a whole bunch of these, but you know how this channel goes. Like, if you're a long-term subscriber, you know that I just, like, get in the zone. And sometimes I just get in a mood. You know, like, I don't pump out the same thing every day. Sometimes I just want to do Total Rants for a week straight, and then I play Project Reality for a week straight, and then God knows what else. I don't even know what the hell's going to happen with my channel half the time. But today, we're actually going to do a live stream reviewing Jack Fragg's video in, like, I think I have it scheduled in, like, 3 hours. So I've just been chilling out until then, because I've got to watch my son. That's why I stay up late. And I've got all this other stuff to do. But, you know, I stay up, like, my sleep schedule is, like, completely reversed. So I just get a lot of time to just think about random stuff. And I always want to just, whenever things hit me, I want to just not make a video about it, like, in the moment. But the best time to make a video is, like, when you just, it's in the moment. You just start thinking about it, and you're just like, I just need to fucking talk about this now. I can't, like, bookmark this in my head. So that's what's happening right now. I just want to talk about shit. And this one's going to be like, you know, we do serious Total Rants every so often. Like, I did a thing on, like, the Syrian crisis and stuff like that. And this video I want to do about depression. I know this is kind of, like, random, and it's not even necessarily about me. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I'm going to weigh into it, obviously, because I have, you know, my own ideas and experiences and whatever. But the thing is that this is something that I think affects a lot more people, and affects, like, especially our community, a lot more than people realize. And it's something that I just think needs to be talked about, because, like, I mean, hell, if we're going to talk about, like, the Syrian crisis and shit, I mean, we might as well talk about this. So I want to start with this one thing that I hope I still have it. I'm going to be really upset if I don't. Yeah, here it is. So I want to talk about this because this is a screenshot from our website before it went down. I took this screenshot because I just wanted to save it just for me. I'm happy I did, because I don't know if you know, but our entire website got attacked. We lost all our data and everything. So this is, like, the only record we have of this. But this Arctic Warrior guy, and this is not the first time I've gotten, you know, people, this is the first time that somebody's, like, publicly said it on, like, a public forum. So hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing this here, but I mean, he posted it on our public chat and everything. So hopefully, I mean, if he's open enough about it there, he'll be okay with this. And there's no way to figure out who he is now because our site's been destroyed. But this guy, Arctic Warrior 85, I mean, if you can't read it, I'll just read it. Where the hell is my mouse? Oh, here it is. There we go. I mean, he says, he really opened up to us. He said, "Hey Drake, I have a serious need to thank you. You literally saved my life," which is, you know, I'm not saying I saved people's life. You saved your life, dude. I'm just here. I'm a disabled vet, and I suffer from acute PTSD, have trouble walking, among other things. I have milsims, and watching your videos during a very dark point in my life a few weeks back, I literally had a 45 in my mouth and was about to pull the trigger, and you were playing in the background. You said something, I can't remember what, that made me laugh hysterically, which in turn caused me to remove said pistol. I then decided that it wasn't worth squeezing that trigger, so I called 911 and got help. I know it probably doesn't account for much, but you saved my life. Which is, first off, really, really touching. And I know there's going to be some people that be like, "Oh, this is fake. Do you know this guy?" And even, like, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know him in person. I don't know if it actually happened. I mean, it seems like it did. But even if it didn't, like, I have people that I talk with all the time where, you know, they have legitimate depression and they have problems. And the other thing is, it's not always military veterans. You know, it's not, everybody has these problems. Like, it's a big deal, just like in men in general. Like, if you just read a men health magazine, you know, like, it's a thing. You know, and I want to kind of, like, weigh in on this, and I want to talk about it a lot, and I want to kind of, I've touched on this a little bit before, actually. I've touched on this with when I did, like, why I'm not in the military video or whatever, and again, if you want to just go watch that video, you can. I mean, I could sum it up, but you can. But I remember saying, you know, like, I'm all about, you know, giving people a place to just talk and just be themselves and be open. And the reason I like doing that is for stuff like this. And it's a hard thing to talk about, obviously. It's a hard thing to talk about because, you know, constantly, there's so many aspects of, like, depression that people are scared to talk about because, you know, you don't want, especially with, you know, men, and especially men in the military, people don't want to talk about it because you come off as weak. You know, you say like, "Oh, I'm depressed." People are like, "Oh, fucking you pussy!" Like, fucking get over it. You know, and you get to this point where you just don't want to talk about things. Like, you don't want to talk. And I want to be in a community where everybody can come around and just speak their fucking mind and just talk, because that's the kind of shit that makes people feel better. I like talking with people, and that's something I like to bring out of other people. You know, like, fucking speak your mind, dude. Like, fucking tell me I won't not judge you. Like, the reason I'm such a dick, like, the reason I'm so ridiculous is because I want to be so fucking ridiculous that when you're around me, anything you say is like so not as bad, like that you can just say whatever the fuck you want. But that's the kind of shit, like being open, being able to talk about yourself, being in a situation where like, oh well, everybody else here is doing whatever the fuck they want, so why, you know, what's to stop me from being just as ridiculous? Like that shit saves lives. Like I don't want to. I sound like a fucking prick when I say that. Like I don't want to seem like super egotistical, like I'm fucking Superman. But like I think everybody should do that. Everybody should have that kind of community. Everybody should encourage everyone to speak their mind and just say shit. You know. And I don't even want to. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have my face cam back. So that's that. But yeah, that's the thing. You know, I want to have a community where it's like, come in here. You know, like, say whatever the fuck you want. Be as outlandish and weird as you want. I'm weirder. I will fucking top whatever the fuck you do. Feel free to do whatever you want. And that's the kind of stuff that I think is important for everybody. Not just like, and that's the other thing. Like, I don't want to say like it saves lives. I want to be like, I'm a lifesaver. You know, but it's healthy. It's just healthy. And I think if more people did that, if more people recognize that, where it's like, you just need to talk. You just need to have friends. You just need to be open. You just need to be open about yourself. And if people don't like that, if people don't like you being open about yourself, find the ones who do. Find the ones who do. And, you know, I have issues of my own. You know, everybody has issues. And I don't think it's important to, like, you know, sit here and compare or like rate your problems with other people. But I think it is important to be able to relate. You know, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I have it as bad as you or anything like that. But you know, I think we've all been through similar situations, and it's good to like look at that and be like, look, I think I can understand parts of these things. Like, that's important. Like, that's a really good first step, is just like trying to understand the way other people feel. And one of the biggest things that spurred me to try and do this, the way I run my community, the way I, you know, run my channel and everything, is I had that same problem. I got really caught up in just kind of perpetuating this image, or like always trying to say the right things and play this game around not just at work, not just all this other stuff, but it also, you know, with my friends and with my family. And you get in this point where you have this mentality where you're like, I have to be this certain kind of person. I have to make do with the people that are around me. I have to, and if I can't make it work with these people, then I can't make it work with anybody. And everybody gets stuck in that mentality instead of thinking, oh, I need to find the people that do, you know, enjoy me being open about myself. You know, I have to make it work with only these people, and if it doesn't work, it's over. If these people aren't interested in me being open with them, then I can't do it with any. And I think that's a dangerous mentality. That's a dangerous mentality. But again, you know, like. And I want to preface this. I apologize so much, but that's because I guess I have to. Like, I try to like think of things that are people going to respond to this like preemptively, so I can be like, no, it's not that. Like, it's don't fucking. I don't want people, because I know people are going to come on here and be like, oh, you think you have fucking PTSD, or like, oh, you think you're fucking a vet, or like just as good as the military dudes, or like you think you have just as big a problem. No, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm just trying to say, like, there are situations where I can relate. And you know, you stay up really late. Like I said, you know, I'm fucking sleeping in the dark here, you know, especially back in the day where things were looking really fucking grim. And you just start thinking, like, you just fucking, it's dark as fuck. And especially if you had like a handgun in the house, you know, and it's one thing to have like a safe handgun, but you own that handgun. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. And you just start thinking. It would be so fucking easy. Like, there's nothing stopping me. Like, and I have no idea what it feels like. What the fuck is death? You know, you could take that so deep, it's like a fucking chasm. You could just, you think, because everybody's like, oh, if I just think about this for a little bit, I'll be like, oh, no, that's the reason I shouldn't kill myself. Like, oh, got it. Okay, fine, fuck it. I figured it out. But, like, if you really think about it, like, there's so many people, if you really just sit there and you're just like, I'm going to contemplate this in my fucking dark-ass room with nothing going on, like, there's no fucking end. There's no answer. There's no answer. It's shitty. And here's the thing, like, I don't know. Again, I don't like saying I have depression. I'm never gonna say that. I never say that I have depression. Maybe that goes back to the whole like, oh, maybe you shouldn't talk about like men's health or like, you know, if you feel weak or something like that. But I feel like I never want to say I'm depressed. I don't think anybody should ever like say like I'm depressed. Like I think you should just approach every situation. Like everybody deals with this kind of stuff. It's something you should be open with. Like it's not a matter of like are you depressed or not you're depressed. Like it's something that you should just, you know, think about critically. Like okay, you know, you have these thoughts. Like that's a lot of people have this. You need to figure out how to deal with it. It's important, you know, like just like anything else, you know, it's important to figure out how to deal with these things. And one of the things that I think I had like a realization, and it's really interesting when I thought about it. But you get to this point where I guess it kind of feels, I don't, with on the risk of sounding like hypocritical as fuck or like stupid. I feel like, it kind of feels like drowning, but that sounds like so fucking Tumblr. Like, but it's one of those things like if you go underwater and you hold your breath, you know, at first it's fine. It's the same thing with like if you're depressed or stuff. Like, so you get a little depressed. You know, like everybody gets depressed. You get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm feeling down. You know, whatever, it's gonna happen. You know, fuck it. It's the same when you go underwater. You know, like you dive underwater and you're holding your breath and you're like, okay, I can't breathe. But fuck it, you know, like who cares? I'll breathe later, you know. Just save that shit for later. But then you get to this point where like, if you, let's say you were underwater and like you try to go back up, and then all of a sudden it's just fucking steel. Like the whole thing, there's no way out. You're just in a steel tank out of fucking nowhere. Like, stretch your imagination. That's what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, I'm not breathing, but now I fucking can't breathe. It's the same thing with the, like, you have this depression. Like, you get to this point, you get depressed or whatever, like, okay, I'm down, whatever. And then you actually try, and at first, you're okay with it. You know, like, you're like, okay, I'm just going to let it happen. I'm just going to feel shitty, you know, I feel depressed. But then you get to this point where you actually try to feel better. And it's really unnerving when you try to make yourself feel better. You know, like you do stuff, you know, like you're like, oh, I'm going to do the thing that makes me happy. I'm going to fucking play video games or like go on a hike or like anything. You do this thing that's supposed to make you feel better and then it doesn't. And then you're just like, wait, what the fuck? Like the fuck, why isn't this? And then you start panicking. You're like, I can't, like, I feel like I'm drowning. I can't breathe. It's terrible. It sucks. And you get this like really weird feeling in your body with like, you feel it in your chest just all the time. Like you've got this fucking, it almost feels like a heart attack, like this, like heartburn. And that's the weird thing. Like, I think people think that it's like a metaphor. Like, no, that's the fucky thing about it. And I guarantee you there's a lot of people that have felt this. Like, it gets to the point where it's so specific, you can just describe it. Maybe it's different for everybody. I don't really know. But for me specifically, it was just like you could feel this like weight. Like there's just this thing inside you. Like this, like your entire body just gets tense all the time, and you've got this feeling in your chest, like very specifically in this area, and then the rest of your body just kind of feels tense, or it's just like this. It feels like heartburn. It feels like a more subtle but more intense, without real pain, heartburn. It's really fucked up. Like it's really fucked up, and I had this realization when I started having this shit happening to me all the time. And I was like, why the fuck this is pissing me off? And then I came to this realization. I was like, it's a drug. It's really weird. Like, I know you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Blue Drake? It's a drug? What the fuck does that mean? It's a drug. There are so many things in your body. There are so many things that govern what you do that are involuntary that people just don't admit to. So many things, it's chemical. It's chemical. Like when you fall for a girl, like or a guy, you know, whatever your thing is, however the hell you're wired, there are some things that you just can't push away from. And when you're young, you know, you don't care. It's like, oh well, this is happening, you know, like your first love or whatever, and you've got this this chemical thing in your body. You don't see it that way, obviously, but you're just falling for this person. You can't not think about them. It's impossible. It's so hard. Everybody has this. And as you grow older, I think your perception on it starts changing. When you're young, it's great. You're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Let this happen. But then when you get older and you're like, no, I don't want this. I got to focus on work, or I got other things I want to do. And these things keep happening. You fall for somebody, or you have some kind of reaction that feels involuntary. And it's really frustrating how involuntary it is. And there's no reason for it to be that way. Obviously, there's evolutionary reasons, like reproduction, stuff like that, flight and fright, all these different things. But there's so much more about us that is involuntary, that is chemical, that even if you try to get it to not happen, you don't even have enough power over your own body. And there's things you can do to help it, but at the end of the day, the main reason that it's happening is so fundamentally involuntary that it's impossible to fight against. And I think that's something that people just don't like admitting. But when I think you do admit to that, it becomes so much easier to manage. So much easier when you don't look at it from oh, this is a personality issue or something like that, and you're like, okay, this is something chemical, this is like a drug, this is unavoidable, I need to critically look at ways to handle this. It's like maybe even you could compare it to a virus. You get a cold, it's not like you're going to be able to just sit there and just think about it and just will yourself out of that cold. Or let's say you're in for surgery and they put you under. It's not like you can just will yourself back into consciousness, you're just going to be done. There are things we can do to you where it doesn't matter what you think or do, you're fucked. Sorry, my camera's flipping. I hate it when it does this. And when you start looking at more things that way, life gets a lot easier. Life gets a lot more manageable. And I'm not saying oh my gosh, you need to go out and get all these drugs and diagnose yourself and pop pills to try and fight this. Those come with their own pros and cons. And it's just as easy to make things worse doing that way as it maybe could be better. You're taking a gamble with that. From personal experience, when I was a kid, as a lot of kids probably in the millennial generation, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I went through this wide range of medication, and ultimately I found anything that they made better, there was something else they made worse. And it was better to just find ways to be myself, but be myself in a way that was productive. Okay, so maybe I'm hyperactive, that means I'm going to have trouble doing some things, but I'm going to be really good at other things. And it's the same way. It's okay, so this is something that's happening to me. It's not like I'm just going to fix it, but maybe there are ways that I can work around it to still be productive, to still be positive, to still help me manage this effectively without further making it worse by trying to overdiagnose it or fight against it in this defeatable way. And I feel like a lot of people, especially people in the military, they just don't talk about it. They just don't fucking... if they feel that, they're not going to tell anybody. They're not going to tell shit. That's dangerous. That is literally, physically dangerous. And again, I know people are going to be like, Blue Drake, you have no idea what the fuck it means to be in the military. That's fine. I know. I don't. I just fucking don't. But I can theorize. I hang around enough people. They tell me. They talk about it. I can theorize. I can figure it out. I have a feeling, you have all these men go into the military, going overseas and stuff like that, and they come back and they have this thing in PTSD, really hard to fucking diagnose. PTSD. I don't get it. And a lot of people don't get it. It's really hard to figure out. And I think a lot of that shit, a lot of stuff with PTSD stems from, it's not just fucking anybody can feel depressed for a wide variety of reasons, especially people that have been cut off from all of their friends and family for 9 months, and then they come back and they find out that it's way harder to get a job than they thought, and maybe their wife left them, maybe their girlfriend left them, maybe they still have a wife or a girlfriend, but things are going downhill. Maybe they're upset because their kids don't know them very well anymore. A billion reasons, all related to the fact that they left And I think a lot of people just have like this Hollywood idea of what PTSD means, and we just ignore all of these other ways that attribute to suicide. Like there's so many people out there that just have this idea that like, oh yeah, well, unless you were in combat or unless you were shot at or unless you saw something, you know, traumatic and horrendous. In fact, the word PTSD, like post-traumatic stress, I feel in a lot of ways those are not necessarily the reasons that you have people committing suicide. In fact, if anything, I feel like a lot of people go over there expecting that. They expect seeing traumatic things. They don't come home and expect having their life cut out from under them. And that can be things, those much more subtle things, I think, attribute a lot more to depression and suicide than other influences. And again, not to say I'm waiting for that one comment that's like, Blue Drake, you say people that have seen combat can't have PTSD. No, I'm not. Of course, there's, again, like I said, there's a wide variety of legitimate reasons to have depression. And I don't even like using that word PTSD because people think that, like, I think I'm like a doctor in the military or something. But I think we still ignore all of these other aspects that we don't respect as they should be respected, because they're not related to that, because they don't fit like this Hollywood idea of what depression is supposed to mean, when it can be a much like more long, drawn out, and not very direct source of what essentially leads to suicide. And that is a huge problem in America. Huge problem. That is like political level problem now, is how much suicide that actually happens, especially in men in the military. And I think it's important to, if things aren't working, to step back and be like, okay, something is different. Something is not the way we thought of it. And again, I think a lot of this stems from this mentality of to think like, I just have to fucking make this work with this person, you know, like this one person, like, and if it doesn't work, I'm not going to talk to anybody else. No, fuck that. Find people who understand you. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I can relate. I can't, you know, obviously everybody's going to like, oh, you're comparing, like you think you have it worse. No, but I can relate. I have my own experiences. I have my own issues just like everybody else. And just to give some context, you know, I can talk about some of the things where I took the same path to get in the same dark place. And, you know, even as a YouTuber, even living, you know, an interesting atypical life, I think a lot of the issues that I have are reflected in a lot of people that watch me. Like, we have a lot of similar issues, and I think just talking about this it helps people understand, like, okay, I'm not alone in this. You know, we all have these kinds of things. It makes it easier to deal with. So, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I spend definitely now, you know, the vast majority of my life in this like closed off room. It's even worse now because like I not only am I in a closed off room in my basement, you know, constantly doing work and trying to make sure I can pay the bills and stuff like that. But now my sleep schedule is inverted. Like I go to sleep when it's dark in the morning, and then I wake up when it's dark at night, because I have to watch my son at night, because you have to watch infants like all the time. It's not as much an issue now because, you know, like I've worked things out with myself. But back in the day, you know, back when I was not making much money, I was fresh out of college. I didn't have shit. I got laid off my job. I was making like $200-300 off of YouTube a month, barely. And I got laid off my job that was paying me like $3 to $4 grand a month as a contractor. I did IT work, you know, that was paying the bills really good. And then I got laid off because my contract was over. You know, it was like, oh, they fucking, you did your job. I was pissed off because I did my job like well, and I finished it beforehand. And if I had just like bided my time, I could have like bought another 2 to 3 months worth of employment. I didn't realize that, but I like finished it, and they were like, oh, it's done. Well, I guess we don't need to hire you anymore. I was like, God damn it. I got laid off. It was really shitty. And here I am, you know, in the fucking basement of my house, like barely scraping shit together. And it gets so easy to just be stuck in this dark room, this dark part in your life, just barely keeping your life together, and that can really screw with people. And I'm lucky I'm the type of person where when that happens to me, you know, I want to go out. I want to interact with people. I want to share my feelings with people. I want to share my mind with people. But not everybody's like that. And that's one of the main reasons that I'm so aggressively the way that I am. I want to lead by example. I want to be, like I said before, so ridiculous. I want to be so open-minded and so free with what I say and how I say it that when you come into my community, when you talk to me, you're the same way. You know, and I'm going to say things that probably are taken poorly or something like that. And, you know, I'm going to say things that are maybe wrong or things that might rub people the wrong way. But the idea is that as long as you see my faults, as long as I'm open with those vulnerabilities, and you are not judgmental about it, if you have an open enough mind to be like, okay, Blue Drake said this or that, but I'm not going to hold that against him. I will do the same for you. I'll do the same for everybody. We all fuck up. We all say things we don't want to say. We all do all sorts of things, and we're so scared of opening up to people about that. We're so scared of being vulnerable and showing that side of us that can be used against us that we ultimately just stay closed off and we don't talk to anybody. And that can lead to serious problems. Serious problems. And I say lead by example, it's hilarious. You see what I'm doing now, but I'm gonna make so many people mad. But I think the same principles to like YouTubers and stuff apply to everybody else in life. Like everyone's gotten so caught up in broadcasting this image, like this very meticulously made image, and I want to use my channel not as a way to broadcast some image, but just to broadcast myself. Like that's the original intention of YouTube anyways. I don't know why the world has lost so much touch with that, but just broadcasting who I am. And in all of the imperfections and all the ridiculousness, and also in the same way, you know, encouraging my viewers to do the same thing. Like, don't be afraid of what people are going to say about you. Don't be afraid of, like, do you think I care? Like, yeah, it sucks. I've gotten emails and stuff like that from big YouTubers saying like, oh yeah, you got to stop, or, you know, you're going to get all your bridges burned around you, and I'm going to tell my other big YouTuber friends to not work with you and stuff like that. And yeah, that's shitty. That's shitty. But at the same time, no, I at the cost of what? At the cost of not, you know, being myself, of making a funny video, you know, ragging on people. I don't understand why people can be so sensitive. It really kills off things. Like I think people don't think that this doesn't happen to me. This happens to me all the time. People rag on me all the time. Especially in this community, even in other communities, the greater Project Reality community. Oh my God! And I think people have lost touch with that, like just being open, being like, you know, I can see why that's funny. You know, like, yeah, he's ragging on me, but whatever. Like, that happens to me all the time. And you just have to learn to just accept it. And I think that really just creates a positive atmosphere, and that's what I'm fighting for. The funny thing is everybody thinks that I'm like ragging on, you know, Devil Dog and shit like that, and even they're pissed off at me. I'm not. Like, I don't care. I'm so open. Some of my best fucking friends are the people that I pissed off once in my life. And it's the same thing with this. You know, they get mad, and I think they think that I'm upset with them, or they think that like I'm gonna fucking screw with them, or I just talking would be a bad idea, or maybe they think I'm just like a leech. Which is the other weird thing. I'll probably talk about that in the live stream too. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, Blue Drakes is just doing this to get fucking views or something." Like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. Are you kidding me? I don't fucking know shit. I mean, there's some things I know. You know, I've learned a lot, and I like to play around with like YouTube search algorithms and like try to do some things that like help my channel grow and like cover games that make sense and stuff like that. But I'm still doing that all for me. I'm not trying to like fuck with people just to get a leg up. Like, I'm doing fine, man. And I don't know if people think I like need the viewership, but I'm doing just fine. I'll pull this up, but you know, like, I mean, you can look, it's not like my views are getting any more or less, or my subscription rates are getting any more or less. I think, and I'm doing pretty fine on views and subs. Like, everybody has this idea, like, oh, Blue Drake's just desperate. Like, honestly, if anything, like, this is this would not be like a good business move. I think everybody thinks that this is like some like I have no incentive other than just wanting to just be entertaining and have fun to do this. Like I'm 140,000 subs, which is pretty small, but I get like the viewership of channels like 5 times my size, and the subscription rate's the same. Like I'm doing okay. So I just hope I can nip that whole like theory in the bud. And yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I would be so open because I even know it's. God, I'm sorry, Devil. I fucking bring you up so much. I apologize in advance, but I've heard. I do not know for a fact that Devil has similar problems. As I imagine a lot of people do. He has maybe some depression or something like that. I don't really know. He's never told me in person. I just hear it. And I think he's made some videos about it. I'm sorry if I'm like bringing up personal information, but I don't understand how I would have personal information about you without ever talking to you. So I'm hoping, I think he's made a video about it or something like that. And I feel like he's probably going through the same shit. I feel like some of the reasons that he doesn't like me are the same reasons that, like I have problems. Or fucking Level Cap, or Jack Frags, or all these people. I'm sure all these people have issues. And that's the thing, people don't see that. That's the kind of shit I'm trying to break down. People, and that's another reason, that's why I don't even want to get a better camera. Everybody's like, oh, get a better camera, get a better studio. I'm not here for the fucking camera in the studio. Like, I almost want to keep a shitty camera, so the only people that stay around are the people who are interested in what I say. It's like, oh, this guy's camera sucks. Like, okay, if you only subscribe to people for good cameras, then go look somewhere else. And people don't see the other side. People see through the camera. You go watch a fucking interview with Level Cap or Jack Frag. Sorry, I bring you up. You're just the people who are around right now. But they don't see the people. They see the brand. They see the face. They see that very well constructed identity, but they don't understand who those people are. And I've never met them in person. Actually, I might have. Maybe like once or twice. I don't know. I go to some of these parties and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that I've learned being able to do all these cool things, like go to PAX and go to the parties and meet all these people. These are just the same exact people as anybody else. The same exact people. They're not any better or worse at interacting with people. They're not any better or worse at socializing or doing anything. Some of them are scared. Some of them are like they don't like being in front of crowds. They don't like doing all this stuff. And I think people don't like recognize that anymore. Especially on YouTube, because like maybe like fucking Justin Bieber or something like that, he's used to being in crowds and that's what he does. But this whole stigma, not stigma. I would use stigma, but I don't even know if stigma is what I think it is. This whole what's the word for it? Phenomena of being able to reach thousands of people from your house in your fucking basement. Like, that's so weird. That's never happened before. I'm lucky because like I actually am a performer, or like was. Like, it doesn't do shit for my life. Like, I've never made a fuck ton of money off of performing, but I'm used to that. I'm used to being in front of people. I'm used to like talking with people. I play with my band. I've never played huge shows, but I've been in front of like 200, 300 people. Probably about the same as like one of the live streams we do. And like, it's so much easier to visualize that, and I'm comfortable with them. Honestly, I'm the exact same, and this is what I want to do. This is the exact thing. I'm the exact same person in person that I am online. Like, the exact same. Like, if there's 300 people in front of me and I got a mic, I'm gonna make dick jokes. I'm gonna fucking dance. I'm gonna be a cunt. I do this. Like, I'll go up there and fucking roughhouse with you on stage. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll fucking stage dive and do all sorts of fun stuff. It's a blast. I enjoy it because I don't see you guys any differently. I'm not like, oh, fucking people. Like, you're not like a weird, vague thing. Like, you're not this weird, strange, like, nobody understands. Like, I get millions of views. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, it makes a little bit more sense to me because I actually meet a lot of you in person and I get to see it, and not only do I get to see it, I think some people, it's funny because it's like the whole stage fright thing, I guess. Some people, when they see like a million fans, or like when they actually see like the physical amount of people, they get like scared. They get like stage fright. I get excited. I've actually worked really hard to have that reaction. I think I've figured out a lot of it on how to do it. Like, I would be the same exact person now in front of 20 people and 20 million. Like, if there were seriously 20 million people in front of a stage in front of me, I would act the exact same. You know why? because I've gotten to this point where I'm comfortable being myself. I want to be myself. I don't want to be anything else. When I was at performance school, what did I got? I went to classical performance school. I got like a degree in like piano or stuff. I got so much more freaked out in front of like 5 people, like judges, watching me do this thing that was like fake. Obviously, I'm singing like classical arias, and I had to like memorize everything because you get scared of not being able to hold up this persona that people like about you that isn't real. That fucking terrifies people. And you'll see it for yourself. Like, that's the thing. Like, and I realized that really young. And I was like, dude, you know what? I'm gonna be the exact same person. Like, if I'm in front of 20 million people and I do something stupid, they're gonna expect that. You know, they're gonna be like, oh, it's fucking Blue Drake. Like, there's no way I can fuck up. In fact, me fucking up is probably what people expect, and they're like okay with that, and that's important, because otherwise, you know, if there was 20 million people and I've got this like really, and I didn't do shit like this, and I wasn't like super open, and I didn't talk, and you guys didn't know who I was, I'd be fucking terrified. And I know this is total rant as fuck right now, but even those big like fucking that big thing, you know, I'm talking big numbers here. Like, what if fucking PewDiePie, you know, how does he react in front of millions and millions of people or stuff like that? And I know that's hard to relate to, but it should be easy, because you know what? It's the exact same thing for you. It's the exact same thing. If you have this persona that you know, you go to fucking work, you got to be that. I mean, and I'm not saying you fucking go to work tomorrow and you like spray paint everything and like drop your fucking pants and piss on your boss or something like that. Like, I can be myself. I'm gonna fucking put peanut butter on my testicles and the fucking like rub them against the wall. Like, I don't know. I guess I'd be a hypocrite. You'd be like, you said I should have faith, Blue Drake. Like, fucking, I don't know. Maybe you can do that, but you know, the other thing, like, just being yourself. You know, not being so fucking worried about what people think of you. Not being so worried about acting a certain way to make sure that people... That's where my face is, by the way. That's why I'm fucking... Because I'm egocentric. I love myself. Not having to do this thing where you have to be this different person in order to get people to like you. That kills people, dude. Sorry, I just realized what we were talking about. When I say kills people, I mean, I guess literally it kills people. I didn't mean it that way. I meant it just like... It hurts. Like, your person. It hurts inside. It's upsetting. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm done. Ow. This is an apple, by the way. Fuck you. So yeah. Okay. It's been fun. I'll see you guys in 3 hours. Love you. Oh, right. And seriously, if you do want to talk to anybody, I mean, I try my hardest to talk to as many people as I can. I can't. It's physically impossible, but that's why we have a community. If you can't talk to me personally, there are so many people in our community. Just go on our Discord server. You know, go on our website when we have it back up. There are people there that's what I focus on. I try to build a community of the same mentality, of people that are open. There are people who are interested in talking with one another. So if you have, I mean, if you can relate to this shit, I mean, I hope not very many people hate on this fucking video. They might. I have no idea. But if you do if you feel this way, or if you ever have felt this way, or if you think you might, or even if you don't, like, who gives a shit? Like, even if you've never suffered depression in your life, I don't give a fuck. That's great. That's what I'm for. You know, come on our community. Talk with people there. There are so many people in this world, even beyond me. So many people in this world worth talking to. So many. And hopefully I've given a place where you are comfortable